We have loaded into the world. Set our calibration trackers. Just height. And welcome back to another episode of Making a Game in Virtual Reality. My name is Ryan, and in this episode, I'll be showcasing some of the features that I've made to my game over the past several weeks. So, we can see here that we have our game board with a tutorial option to showcase what each controller input maps to which game commands. So I have a couple of them here. I think the most meaningful one for all players is probably the height option, where by gripping both of my controllers, I can actually adjust just how high I am in terms of visibility around the board. We also have our city, which I can pick up and move around, but it also has a GUI that showcases the cost of the city and the name of the building, which is actually a town, not really a city. But yeah, let's construct it, and we'll have a timer that tells us how long it'll take to construct the game object, and if I want to have my spawner over here a little closer, since this is my base, I can just grab one of these knobs and just pull it like that. I'll kind of leave it like there. And yeah, once the town completes, I'll be able to see my name, the territory, the city lighting up, and my bank, and the supply of how many game objects I can build before I'm capped out. So let's see. If I wanted to build a house, I'll just pick it up, drop it, and 10 gold will be deducted from my bank, constructing the house. Additionally, each house that I build unlocks a technology building. So the first technology building I unlocked was a sawmill. If I were to construct another house, the fort would unlock. So let's do that one more time. Fort's currently locked, but when the house completes, fort becomes unlocked. And we can see that there's another technology building for us to build later on. So yeah, sawmill now constructs towers, and forts allow us to construct walls. And I would say that if I wanted to build buildings, I don't necessarily always have to like grab them from the sort of spawn area. Like if I obviously grab it and place it, but I could also just grab from the technology buildings themselves. I'll track my hand, and I could just kind of place them in whatever kind of area I think they would look good in. So kind of get a wall there. Get another tower over here. A wall like that looks pretty nice. And a wall over here looks pretty good. So yeah, that is that's how my base is looking right now. I would like to connect these walls, but I'm currently have the panels disabled for testing, and that's how construction logic works for defensive structures. Let us continue by showing the offensive structures and structures that allow you to spawn units. So let's spawn a house. And let's build a blacksmith. While that blacksmith is building, I think I'd also like to spawn one more house and get a range going. Let's kind of get this range maybe over here. So the smith is an offensive structure, and what that allows us to do is it allows us to build knights. So if I were to place a knight over here, it would allow us to spawn a knight, and I can select it with a banner and move it to a particular location. So the really cool thing about offensive units or offensive structures is really it kind of expands like the game state, right? It expands the game from being like a city building game to a game where you can like interact with all other players on the map. And how you interact with players is whether you alliance or or go to war with different people on the map. So I have one knight, and I can spawn another one. Which one? Here it is. Spawn several of them. Oh. Well, apparently I can only spawn 4 because I've hit a bug in my game. So basically, there's a bug where if I spawn something from one of these buildings, there's like a frame perfect like glitch where it'll like try to spawn it, but at the same time like try to maneuver it, and when that happens, we get this kind of like error thing. But I was able to successfully spawn 4 of them, and I can still interact with other game objects while um, the smith is broken. But yeah, let's get 4 knights and 3 archers, and we can see here that if we were to count up all of the active game objects on the board, we would have 22 out of 37. And yeah, I can move them around, select, split them up in half, like that. Quite easy to maneuver, quite easy to control. I can do a kind of a selection test where, let's say I wanted 1 knight and 1 archer. I can just kind of take 1 knight, 1 archer, move over here, 1 knight, 1 archer over here, 1 knight, 1 archer over here. Fairly fast. The controls are very smooth and allows me to kind of interact with the game fairly quickly. What this banner does, if I wanted to go into a little bit more detail, is both my hands have like a controller input, where if I hold trigger, I can move the banner around. And holding trigger not only selects units that they come in contact with, but it also moves them to their location. So I have select and move as like the same command. And to simply deselect, all I have to do is hold trigger and hold grip. And that deselects it. And that concept applies for both hands as well. So yeah, that's unit logistics. This is kind of building logistics. I really like this slider. It's very complicated to make this thing, but the slider should be very assisting in players that, if I build over here, I would want my slider to kind of be like over here. And if the opponent or my alliance builds over here, then they should have the slider over there. So the slider is very important. Our gold is good. Our supply is good. We've kind of unlocked every technology. And when you unlock every technology, the last house you build will just unlock we'll just upgrade your town center from being a wooden town center to like a stone town center. Kind of like that. And supply, by the way, is 22. But if I were to command my units to fall off the map, supply would obviously go down. Okay, so it looks like we have our town hall upgraded, and yeah, that's the last upgrade. If you were to kind of get to this point where you have a fully upgraded town hall, then you have unlocked every technology building. You have access to really the full game, which is warriors, archers, walls, towers, miscellaneous structures, technology buildings, and you're pretty much just play the game at that point. I could obviously add more stuff like catapults and ballistas, but I think I want to just do a test run with just these basic elements and get some user feedback before expanding further. So I think I can probably showcase the next thing in this video, which will be different player colors. So throughout all my videos, I've really only showcased, the blue color. But if I were to join the game, another player were to join the game, they would be not assigned the blue color, but a red color. So let's simulate that from me being a blue player to me being a red player. So let's take my town and construct it. Let's kind of construct it like over here, I suppose. And we can see here that my city center is red. What I've just done is I've inputted a command where I've changed my player from blue to red. So if I were to try and interact with any of these buildings, I can't, because I am no longer the owner of this player anymore, of this sort of territory, and I'm now the owner of the red territory. And same as before, I can pick up houses and spawn them, and unlock different technologies. I won't really be using the sort of fast spawner where I spawn it directly from like the buildings themselves, only because I don't want to accidentally crash the buildings. And yeah, build fast, build quickly, get a nice empire going up. Spawn towers for defenses, spawn houses to unlock technologies, smiths for offensive units, and forts for walls. That's the red player. That's the blue player. And I could also swap to yellow, green, purple, pink, black, orange, brown. There's all these other players. I won't really do that because it'll kind of take a while, but we can see that the concept of having different player colors, having different, states, that concept is now possible in this game. Let's get the range. The wall. Yeah. We can see here that my gold goes down every time I spawn a structure, which is a correct economic feature. And I guess I should pause here and take a moment to kind of recap. So this is essentially where I'm at right now with the game. Couple bugs, not severe, um, but bugs all around. For the next couple weeks, I'll be polishing the game, obviously. But if I were to kind of speak about my general thoughts on this game, um, first of all, I would say that I do like the kind of look and feel of it. Um, I like the look and feel of selecting units. Um, I like the look and feel of kind of spawning from structures. Um, and I like the direction of the game. Um, each update, each kind of week, you know, adds incrementally like new features from the previous week. Um, and like I think each feature like makes the game look better overall. Um, and makes the game like smooth and polished. Like I'm at a solid 80 frames per second, and there's a whole bunch of stuff, whole bunch of game objects active on the board, and 80 frames per second is pretty good. Um, and I like the fact that a game can run optimized and run performance wise well, while also being fairly decent in terms of complexity. So I guess that takes me to the end of this video. Um, we have a proof of concept game that's starting to materialize and starting to look like an actual thing you can play. Um, and I'm excited of where things are going. Um, I thank you guys for watching these videos, and maybe one day in the future we'll be able to see other people playing this and for real in VRChat. All right, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.